Expert TV. I'm Keith Mason, and yes, I am your expert. Okay, so we're on this series right now of looking at some hot topics, some up-to-date topics, some hot off the press topics. So these are the latest topics that have come off of the IElTS. However, you might be watching this in the future, in which case they're not the latest topics, but they'll always be relevant, and they will probably come up again and again. Slightly, what happens at IElTS, the British Council will slightly change the topics, but they're pretty much the same. They're not going to be very different to ones that you're used to. So you'll have the basic idea of what the topics will be. Of course, never learn answers. Now, did you hear me? Were you listening there? What did I say? Never learn answers. Learn how to speak English. Practice your English. Improve your English. Practice speaking with people. Don't just learn answers because you never can. The only way you can learn an answer is by using my story bank. That's the only way you can learn an answer and fool the examiner, because an examiner will always know when you've learned an answer, except when you use my story bank. Go back and look at it if you haven't seen it. You must watch that. It's the episode on tricks and cheats. Maybe I shouldn't have called it cheats, because you're not cheating, but it's a very good trick, the story bank, to improve your fluidity, improve your confidence. So really good. And also to bring in some high-level vocabulary. Okay, let's get on. So today we're looking at describe a time when you lost your way. I quite like this one. Describe a time when you lost your way. You should say when it was, where you were, what happened, how you felt, and explain how you found your way. Okay, so I think that's happened to all of us at some stage. It's also, I like this topic because it can give you a chance to bring stories in from your story bank. Yeah, just change the story slightly and bring it in. And yeah, it's something that we've all done. So lost our way. So you say when it was. Again, it could be last week, last year, last month. It could be 5 years ago, 2 weeks ago. So this is just looking for you to be able to come up with expressions to give a date in the past. You might be very specific. It was on the 21st of January, 2005. Okay, if you can be that specific, wonderful. But this is what that's looking for. Where you were, so now geographical location. Don't just give one word, say a little bit more. So I lost my way. I was in Nottingham. Nottingham is a town in England where there's a big forest, very large forest. So I was in Nottingham, and I was driving along the road from Milton Keynes to Nottingham. So giving some specifics, not just one word, giving a flavour of where you were and what you were doing. Then what happened, how you got lost, and how you felt. So again, remember, use your emotions. No good saying, oh, I was really upset. I was really worried. That's no good, is it? It's not convincing. So use your emotions when you speak. Use your body language. Body language will get you marks. Honestly, it will increase your score. If you use facial expressions, use your body language, use emotions, excuse me, it will increase your score. So don't forget to do that. And then explain how you found your way. Okay, so you remembered that you had an app on your phone. When I was young, I couldn't do that. You had to use a map. Okay, so here's some words that you might use. I was very worried. I was quite concerned. You might be concerned for other people, maybe not so much concerned. You'd be more worried for yourself. You're concerned for other people. I was concerned for my family who didn't know where I was. I became disorientated. This is a lovely word, disorientated. So, disorientated is where you just don't know where you are. You don't know which way to turn. You don't know, is that east or west, north or south? You don't know. You're disorientated. Excuse me. Confused. I was very confused. Again, didn't know which way to turn, didn't know where I was. I was confused about the situation. And that actually made me quite upset. I got quite upset. I might even say I was quite tearful or quite emotional. Made me very upset. How did you get there? I took a wrong turn down a road and there I ended up, completely lost. Navigate is a good word to use, to navigate your way out of or into a situation, or you were navigating your way. So navigate is finding the direction, finding where you need to go to navigate something. So that's quite a high level word that you could use. So let's go back, and it says, how did you get out? How did you find your way? So we've talked about how you felt. You felt worried, upset, nervous, concerned about other people. How did you find your way? I asked for directions. I went and asked someone for directions. Sometimes that's the easiest thing to do, isn't it? But we don't do that because we like to do it ourselves. Or you followed directions. So you asked someone directions and then you followed their directions to get out. You went this way, that way, and there was the place you were looking for. I was so relieved. So relief is the feeling, so relieved to get out of that situation, to find my place. So relieved. What a feeling. I felt very emotional because I was quite scared and worried, and now I feel that great sense of relief when I got there. Okay, so there's some words you can use in your part 2. Let's move on to the part 3. What are some reasons why people get lost? Why do some get lost more easily? How can people find their way when they get lost? Is it important to plan your route when you visit a new place? Okay, so why do people get lost? You might talk about lack of preparation and planning. People get lost because they haven't planned ahead. They haven't prepared their journey. Sometimes if you're going on a long journey, before you start, you need to prepare your journey. Clearly, this exam question hasn't thought about Google Maps or any of the other apps which will tell you where to go. You just put in where you want to go and it tells you. Okay, but you can't really, maybe you could say that at the end. Yeah, lack of planning, preparation. People are afraid to ask or embarrassed to ask other people, aren't they? So when they get lost, I'll find my own way. Maybe it's down here or down there. I'll find my own way. So people get embarrassed to ask other people. Some people have a very bad sense of direction. You know, some people can just know, I know I've got to go in that direction. So if I go down here, down there, I know I'll be in the right place. Some people have a bad sense of direction. They just don't know how to find places. They easily get lost. Some people are easily disorientated. Remember that word, disorientated. So as soon as they don't recognize something, then they panic and they get disorientated very easily. Nowadays, phone apps, of course, so you can talk about phone apps, but it depends on the importance of your trip. So when you're looking at is it important to plan your route when you visit a new place? So there you need to talk about why you're going to the new place. If you're going to that place because you have an important meeting, then of course it's very important. However, if you're just going for fun, maybe it's not so important. But clearly, if it's an important meeting, then you need to plan ahead. You need to know where all your directions are. You need to know where to go. And you might talk about doing some secondary research online. So that's going online and looking at the best route. But again, you're probably going to use your phone app, aren't you? So that will be the time when you can talk about the use of different apps to find your way. Okay, so I hope that's been really useful for you. Please do go back and look at that video on Storybank, because this one particularly is one where you could very easily bring in a story from your Storybank, and that will give you great confidence when you're answering the question. And it also means that you're not going to end up stopping halfway through your answer. What you want to aim for is that the examiner says, okay, thank you, stop now. You want the examiner to stop you, not to be stopping yourself. Okay, so lovely to see you this time, and I look forward to seeing you next time on IELTS and ESL Expert TV. Bye-bye.